A good question someone asked me is, how much salt is enough salt, or how much salt is too much salt? How do you know how much salt to have? First off, you got to identify the fact that high levels of sodium, meaning like basically like regular white table salt, high levels of just sodium has been known to give you high blood pressure. It causes the arteries and blood vessels to tighten up and straighten up because of the low pH level of the table salt. It has that negative effect on the body like that, as well as other side effects as well. But another thing is, a lot of people don't realize that the foods that they're eating, a lot of the acidic foods, processed foods, have high levels of sodium. So first thing you could do is try minimizing how much extra sources of sodium are being introduced into your food. If you look at the ingredients on your food or something that you get, you look at the sodium level, it may shock you to how much sodium already comes in that product. And then if you're sitting there adding extra salt on top, this is how people end up in the deficits that they're in. So what you want to do is first minimize how much excess salt that you're taking in, because asking how much salt should I be eating, that's kind of a hard question to answer, because everyone's daily routine is different. See, now someone who spends all day outside sweating all day, like here in Arizona, if you spend all day outside, I think it'd be a little bit more okay to have a diet with a little bit higher salt level than someone else who sits inside in an AC environment and never sweats or never exercises at all. Because the difference is, when you're exercising a lot and you're sweating a lot, you're releasing these stored minerals out of your body. That's why when you sweat and you lick it, it tastes like salt. I'm not advising you to lick your sweat, but I'm just saying that's the reason why when someone licks their sweat, it tastes salty, because one of the main ingredients inside of the salty flavor is sodium. Though now salt, in a definition sense, is not just sodium. Most salt contains more than just one type of mineral. Like, for example, pink Himalayan salt contains over 84 minerals that the body needs, as well as sea salt has a whole bunch of minerals as well. So it's not just sodium. You got phosphorus, potassium, magnesium. You got a lot of other minerals that the body really needs to be able to function properly. So like, say, I'll give you a quick example. If you got muscle spasm and your muscles twitching or something, or if you need help with muscle recovery, eating foods that have potassium in them, or salt that has potassium in it, one of the main minerals that your body needs, this can help with your body recovery or reducing that muscle spasm. So if the salt you're consuming only contains sodium, then you need to make some adjustments, because you're already getting plenty of sodium from all these external sources as well. So you got to look at your diet, you got to look at your lifestyle, and then look at the kind of salt you're using. So get rid of the table salt, get rid of the white salt. That's like the worst salt you can get. Now, whether you choose pink Himalayan salt or the sea salt, it's up to you. There's people can say negative things about sea salt. They can say there's microplastics in the ocean. You got to worry about dead carcasses in the ocean, plastic pollution, all this other stuff. That's where the sea salt comes from. And then you got pink Himalayan salt. They say that it's exposed to radiation, etc., etc. So it's kind of like, you're doomed if you do, doomed if you don't, damned if you do, damned if you don't. So it's kind of like you pick what you want. Most of this stuff is based on the source of where the sea salt or where the pink Himalayan salt comes from, because you don't have to have just pink Himalayan salt. The main thing is to have rock salt that comes from the earth. Now, you don't have to get pink Himalayan salt that comes from the Himalayan mountains. Just get a different form of rock salt, as long as you're not consuming regular white table salt. And here's another thing: a lot of people need to detox their body. So they have these high levels of salt, sodium, high levels of sugar. You need to get your blood levels back in equilibrium. A lot of people have these super acidic diets with overexposed to sodium, overexposed to sugar and processed foods, and their bodies are in this deficit. So what you need to do is increase your higher pH level foods and get your pH level of your body up, because higher pH level foods are going to help your body heal and help your body to be able to function at the level that it needs to be able to function. Classic airplanes, biplanes flying over me right now. I don't understand. They're trying to stop me from making this video. They know I'm trying to help people out. So you really got to consider those things as far as your body. So here's another step. You got to accept that you got to make change. A lot of people are not accepting the fact that they got changes that they need to make within their health and their daily routine, their lifestyle. Literally, it's a whole lifestyle that needs to have a change in order for you to really get good results. So when you have a change in your lifestyle and your food and the way you live your life, you won't have to ask the question of how do I know how much salt is too much or not? You know, because here's a characteristic. When you consume rock salt has way lower sodium compared to just regular table salt or even sea salt, because it's higher in a lot of those other beneficial minerals that your body needs. All right. So when you're sprinkling it on your food, it's not going to have as salty of a flavor, and you're going to be able to get more nutrition from this. All right. Keep that in mind. Put those steps in motion. Start exercising, start sweating. That's healthy. That's good for you. Change the food you eat. Start eating more higher pH level foods. Look at the food that you eat as far as processed foods, and look at the ingredients. Look at the sodium levels of the food. Try to get foods that have lower sodium, or just make foods at home, and then you can choose how much sodium you're putting in it, how much salt you put in there. You don't have to just have regular white salt in your food, because most of these processed foods, I guarantee they do not use sea salt or rock salt. Most of these companies, they only use the regular table salt, because table salt is cheap. So keep that in mind. When these companies are making the food, they're not considering what kind of sources that you eat. They're not considering whether you should be having rock salt or sea salt or whatever. That's up to you. You got to make that change. So I hope this video was useful for you guys. If you got a question, go and leave it in the comment description down below, as well as make sure you like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.